morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzamos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-growth. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Hermit mode. So the Hermit mode, obviously, it is the moment of self-reflection. So that's the moment whereby an individual just shuts down from the entire world. They start going within. They start asking themselves so many different kinds of questions. And a lot of times, the Hermit mode can be initiated personally by an individual. It can be initiated consciously by an individual, or a person can go into Hermit mode by force. So sometimes you can find a situation where your parent may push you to go out of the house. So they may send you out of the home. They say, hey, listen, it's time for you to leave the home. You're an adult. You're a big kid now. So it's time for you to go out there and start thinking for yourself. You know what I mean? But sometimes it can also be a situation whereby an individual has gone through so many different kinds of things in their lives, situations, and there's been so much happening around their lives. And individuals decide to cut themselves off the entire world. They sit by themselves. They start processing things. They start to think for themselves, and they start to actually understand exactly what is going on in their own personal circumstance. And you see, Hermit mode is also a situation whereby you can extremely feel lonely, because Hermit mode, remember, the reason why they call it Hermit, it's like an individual is closed off from the entire world. So you are somewhere hiding in your garage, or you locked yourself in a room, or you are somewhere in the countryside in your parents' in your parents' cabin. You're working on yourself. You're working on a book. You're working on a song, or maybe sometimes you're working on a movie, whichever it is you want to do. But whatever it is you're doing, it is something that is actually going to help you to move you towards the next level. So it is extremely a lonely period. I remember I went hermit in 2020. That was around August. I went hermit. So for me, it was something that actually I decided to do, because I was like, okay, so I've seen everything. I've experienced everything. So it is time probably for me to start going within. So I started to go within. Some people want to call the Hermit mode that period whereby you go within. You know what I mean? So you start to ask yourself intensive questions. You start asking yourself intensive questions, and you start asking yourself, God, the universe. You want God to do a miracle in your life. You want God to change your personal circumstances, because you have come to that point whereby you feel enough is enough. You have had enough of everything. You have had enough of your parents. You've had enough of your job. You've had enough of your relationship. You've had enough of your friends. Even sometimes, as an individual, you just have enough of everything. You just feel there is something more that you really need to do to better your own situation and your own circumstances, to change whatever it is you want to experience in your personal life. So most of the times, it is that process whereby you're having enough, and it is sending you out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? So the Hermit zone is like something that sends you out. You go out of your comfort zone, because remember, guys, for a person to go hermit, first of all, they have got to be aware of the distractions. And those are the things that are stopping you and are blocking you from growth. So by distractions, you might find sometimes people who are very much into partying, very much into clubbing and all these kind of things. A lot of distractions. There is so many different kinds of things people do that actually keep them off track and distract them from actually becoming the best version of themselves. So you may find the situation in the weekend. People are coming around. Your friends are coming around. Hey, listen, let us go and let us go to the club. You know, there's a new club around the corner. You know, it is just opened up. You know, there's a new pub, there's a new bar. You know, let us go to the beach. So a lot of times, a lot of people, they fail to evolve because they're having a lot of distractions around them. So their friends are dragging them in a completely opposite direction. Sometimes, yes, it is okay. I mean, I don't say there's a problem with going to the club. If you're a person who likes club, of course, you clubbing or you like drinking or the things like that. So I don't really judge anyone. But I just want to make you aware that sometimes most of these distractions, at the end of the day, you're living life outside of you. But at the end of the day, for a person to evolve and to grow spiritually, you're supposed to start living from within. You know what I mean? So you may go to club. At the end of the club, you've been drunk. You came back home, you're tired. The next day, you have a hangover, and maybe sometime you have to wake up and go to work. Then now, you've spent the whole day clubbing, drinking. In the morning, you got a hangover. And the next day, now you're picking up your bags and you're running to a job which is going to which is going to also keep you very, very busy for the next couple of hours. You come back home, you do another routine of doing a little bit of a shower, watching a little bit of telly, going to bed, and the cycle continues on and on and on. You know what I mean? You can understand that normally when a person is distracted, most of the times, a lot of individuals, they fail to understand what it is they really need to do to improve their lives. You know what I mean? It is okay to have a job. It is okay to have a job that you do, because most of the times there's individuals who actually like their jobs. There is some people who like their jobs. They like what they're doing. Maybe they're earning good money, or sometimes they're enjoying the environment or the things like that. It can be so many different kinds of issues, situations. But at the end of the day, a person who is growing spiritually, you understand that spirituality is actually coming from within. So spirituality is not coming from outside of you. Spiritual growth is not coming from your boss. It is not coming from your landlord. It is not coming from your friends. It is not even coming from your relationships. So most of the times, people who go hermit mode, they even sometimes realize that there is partners they're involved with, and those partners, they're not helping them to evolve. You know what I mean? So sometimes those partners that they're having in their homes, they're just bringing them down each and every single day. So they're not helping in any way, pushing them further to the next level. So maybe sometimes there is something else you want to do, and you're discussing with your partner, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. Let us try something different for a while. Let us do this. Let us open up a project. Let us open up a shop. You know, let us go do a certain course. Maybe sometime that course is going to help us in a couple of years down the road. That course may even sometimes help us to move us to the next level. And now you're having a partner who is usually rejecting whatever it is you want to do. It can even be sometimes your parents. So most of the time, people realize that there is a lot of obstacles around them, and those obstacles have refused, and sometimes they have denied them a chance to grow. Your parents, they be like, what are you going to do with that woman? Where are you going? So what are you going to do with that course? What are you even trying to study? Why are you wasting your time? Your own parents, most of the times, your parents, they want you to grow. And listen to this, very important, guys. Listen to this one. Your parents, in your eyes, they'll always come around and tell you that, hey, listen, my son, I want you to grow up and be a doctor. I want you to be a nurse. I want you to achieve this. I want you to achieve that. I want you to go higher and higher. Your parents, most of the times, they will tell you in your face that they want you to evolve. But the thing is, and the secret is, they want you to evolve in a way that makes them comfortable. So most of the times, you are evolving beyond the expectations. You know what I mean? So that's why you see a lot of people who go hermit mode. You can look it up on the internet, guys. For the most of you guys who are new to this world, you can look it up on the internet. You will see a lot of guys who have actually done very, very many big and serious things. A lot of guys who have written the most best-selling books, who have come out to become the best musicians, and a lot of things, a lot of careers. So many people around the world, they have actually discovered what it is they wanted to do, and they have usually been hermits. So they have been isolated from the external world. So most of the times, hermit mode is extremely, it's painful. Yes, it's painful because, it's like you're looking around, there's nobody around you. You're working on a boat, a book, you can only hear birds singing. You can only hear birds around you singing. You can hear sometimes animals in the jungle. So there is nothing around you. It is just you, yourself, your intuition, and God, and the universe. You're only working by yourself, because remember, guys, let me tell you something. The journey of spiritual growth, the reason why sometimes people don't understand this journey is because that journey, it pushes you to go within. It pushes you to dig within your soul and to find those things that inspire you, those things that bring out the spark in you, the best in you, those things that help you move to the next level. You are going within, and you're asking yourself a lot of questions, and at the same time, you're answering those questions by yourself, because remember, again, nobody's around you, so you are really isolated, and isolated from the entire world, so there's nobody around you. Hermit mode. When I started Hermit mode in 2020, for me, my biggest reason was I didn't even know that I didn't even know anything about spiritual growth in that time. So when I went Hermit, I remember I was like, I just want to sit by myself. You know what I mean? I want to cut myself from relationships, those kind of to friendships that were not bringing me anywhere. You know, friendships who are actually just dragging me to do different things, that even sometimes things that I didn't really like. So I went Hermit, and I cut myself off from those kind of activities and things and people and places. So I started by myself. I was like, I want to do something different. You know what I mean? I'd already done everything. So the jobs, you know, those kind of jobs, whatever it is, I used to work for corporations in those days. So I was like, these kind of things I've been doing for a long time. It looks like a cycle, and I really feel that I need to get out of this cycle. And at the same time, I really feel that I need to find out the reason why I was usually attracting a lot of toxic relationships. So I went Hermit, guys, and believe me, before you know it, in a couple of months, that's when I started to say, okay, now this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to start helping people, because of course I'd already been through so many difficult situations and relationships, and I was like, okay, so now I'm going to start helping people, you know, sharing my experiences, of course, online, and I always I had to find a way of how to do it, and that is how exactly my YouTube channel took off. You know what I mean? So that's when I took off from that day, and I've never looked back, guys. I can guarantee you, months down the road, in the beginning things weren't looking very clear. I was like, okay, so where am I going? Have I chosen the right path? You know what I mean? So I remember those days I didn't have a lot of viewers, you know, nobody was watching my videos. I was like, what am I going to do now? So nobody's watching these videos. Nobody even knows who was Denzomos. I can guarantee you guys, almost like 3 years ago, nobody knew who was Denzomos. Yes, I had a few Facebook friends in those days, but a lot of these people that I didn't even know were not even sometime following my page or things like that. You know, sometime on Facebook you just click follow, whatever it is, and you're just following people that you don't even know, and you don't even really actually want to follow. So you're having a lot of people who are not even helping you. So when I started this channel, that's exactly when I found my tribe. You know what I mean? So I took off, I found my tribe. I continue to evolve, and I continue to become better, and I continue to discover my purpose. So Hermit mode is also something which actually helps you to discover your purpose. You finally understand what you're here to do, what you want to do for yourself. You know what I mean? Because the moment you ever get that spark within you, and that spark tells you that, hey, listen, I understand that you've been married for so many years. Maybe you've been doing that job for so many years. Maybe you've been going to school from one school to another, and it's like you still cannot find that thing that ignites, that gives you the spark within your soul, that wants you to move, that wants to push you to the next level. It's like always there is something more that you feel that you have to do outside of the box. You know what I mean? Also, outside of the regular. You know what I mean? Because we are not born here. We are not born to come onto this world and, you know, just go around there and make a few pennies, you know, work somewhere, make a few pennies, pay our bills, you know, buy a few drinks, go to the club and this and that. Then we save a little bit of money. Then we go back to that, to that next routine the next day. You understand sometimes that that cycle will not stop. And most of the times, guys, I can guarantee you, unless you start learning how to cut off the distractions and getting away from distractions, when you realize these distractions, because me, I realized the biggest distractions I had was toxic relationships. So when I found out that secret, that okay, so I need to get out of toxic relationships and I need to stop attracting toxic people. That is exactly when I went Hermit mode. So I went into Hermit mode deliberately. I decided to go into Hermit mode because I was actually trying to work on myself. You know what I mean? And of course, that is how Denzomos was born in those in that period of Hermit mode. That is when I took off and this channel was born, and I was able to become that person I am today. So for a lot of you guys, you're out there asking yourself a few questions: what it is you want to do. You're tired of your job. You're tired of relationships. You're tired of friendships. You're tired of this. You're tired of clubbing. You've been to all the clubs in the city. You've been to all of them. The same thing, the same routine, spending money, wasting time, peer groups and peer pressure and all these kind of things. You are out there. You really need to understand that the only thing you're supposed to do for you to evolve, you are supposed to initiate the Hermit mode. Hermit mode, you cut off the distractions. So you stop actually sometimes doing the regular things that you've always done, and you just sit down by yourself. It can be sometimes a situation whereby you're still living with the parents, You just sit down in your small room and you think. Guys, let me tell you something. It is very, very scary to be alone. In the early days of my hermit, I was extremely terrified. It is a very, very terrifying moment to be alone. You're just there sitting. Nobody's calling you. Your phone is not ringing. Nobody's visiting you. Sometimes you're calling people. They are too busy going here and going there. You sit down by yourself. And that is the only way God will ever speak to you, because God will never actually speak to you when you're facing a lot of distractions. Because when there's distractions coming from all corners, then there's a lot of noise, and God can actually not hear what you want to say. You know what I mean? So you cut off those distractions and be by yourself, guys. It's very, very difficult to be alone. Very, very difficult, guys. Let me tell you something. In those days, I thought that I was going crazy, because I was like, how is it possible that I'm by myself and there is nothing happening outside of me? The only thing actually what God was doing, he was pushing me to go within and start asking myself the most serious questions in life and thinking about where it is I wanted to go. So for the most of you guys who don't know what is hermit mode, that is that period where you cut yourself off from the entire world, whether it has been by force, you've been pushed to do it, or whether it has been deliberately, whereby you actually started this hermit mode so that you can work on yourself to evolve spiritually. And I can guarantee you guys, at the end of the day, there is benefits to going hermit. Hermit mode will help you to discover your authenticity, and that thing that ignites your soul and sparks something in your soul that pushes you out to start to discover so many things about yourself, sometimes even things that are going to move you to the next level and think for yourself. Again, I always appreciate and love your support, guys. Remember, you can always book a session with me, donate and support to this channel if you want to. All the links you need, then the description below. Let me know what you think about this video. Of course, let us know if you're in the hermit mode, or let us know if you want to go into the hermit mode. If you don't know what it is, you can always book a session with me. I'll help you understand what is called this hermit mode, and maybe sometimes that is where exactly you're going to find those things that ignite your soul to become a better version of yourself. Until then, guys, much love and blessings. Desmo signing out, and I'll catch you in my next one. Peace.